Age cannot wither her, nor custom stale her infinite variety. Other women cloy the appetites they feed, but she makes hungry where most she satisfies.
Oh.
Happy birthday.
Wow. Thank you, Charlie.
Brush up your Shakespeare.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
Start
You also-
quoting him now. Hi, everybody.
You
Hello.
also had my favorite Twitter response to Kirsten Sinema saying, today we remember the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. You just said, oh, for the love of God, shut your gob, which nobody says enough. Gob
No,
is an unused, is not nearly used enough.
was very important to my grandmother. Who would say it all the time, usually to me.
Gob, is it a part of gobsmacked or is gob?
Gob is mouth.
Yeah, I know,
Right.
but
Gobsmacked is getting hit in the mouth with something.
oh, thank you for that explanation. I did not know.
Smacked in the gob, if you
Okay.
will.
All right.
Smacked in the gob,
All
exactly.
right.
Yeah.
If you will.
Okay. Speaking of which, you also would like to smack Mitt Romney in the gob. You said, hey, Mitt, not for nothing, but why do you have to be asked to support voting rights? Your old man wouldn't have waited for an invitation. No, in fact, his old man spoke out quite loudly against that guy, Barry Goldwater, being against the Civil Rights Act of 1964 at the 64 convention.
And
yes.
George Romney was very close to Dr. King.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
Well, and also Manchin's the one that said, I can do this voting rights thing,
Yeah.
get Republicans. What, Mitt Romney, it's like an invitation to a dressage match. He's supposed to get a phone call from the White House, or he's not going to.
He has utterly no excuse. But he's got more of an excuse than the 4 or 5 of them who are retiring, who have
Yes.
absolutely nothing to lose.
Right.
Yeah.
To me and those guys. They to me are the most reprehensible people
Yes.
in this whole drama.
Charlie,
Far more
honestly,
than
I don't mean to Eric Bollert you, but why? Why does the media completely exonerate Republicans and not talk about all of them being against it when all of them just voted for it under, recently as George W. Bush? Why? I mean, I get it. Kristen and Sinema and Manchin are irritating, but why don't they talk about every single Republican is against voting rights?
I don't think the mainstream elite political media, and I hate to sound like, Stephen Miller or something, but that's the only way to phrase it. I don't think they're wired to confront what the Republican Party has become. I don't think it's within their comprehension that you've got a political party dedicated to demolishing the institutions of government and just simply being reckless for the sake of being reckless.
Yeah.
They can't confront that somehow. I don't know why that is.
Is there any chance anything surprising is going to happen today in the Senate?
Of course not. I mean, I don't think. I mean, I really don't think so. And if I was, if I were king of the forest, nobody in that chamber would mention Dr. King, not even the Democrats.
Yeah.
Dr. King needs some real leaving alone at this time in history.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I swear. And
I mean, you know who came out strongest yesterday on TV for the voting rights package in Congress? Stan Van Gundy on the NBA broadcast.
Really?
Oh my God! He's like, we've got these 2 great bills in the Senate right now, and there's only 2 people holding them up, and I don't understand.
there's 52.
Wow.
Yeah. What? So you wrote a piece about.
Although there is a congressman who tweeted that Dr. King would have made a great Green Beret.
Yes, he would have.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, at that point, I consider Dr. King Day closed because that's as far out as you can get.
Yeah.
Yeah. They only all know that one quote, right? Content of
Oh,
your
yeah.
character,
They
color of
know-
your
they
skin.
know
That's
the
all
one
they
quote
use.
from the
Yeah.
speech. Yeah.
And they ignore
That's it.
everything else he stood for, right? It's
Including everything else in that speech.
yeah. Yes. So
And they certainly ignore John Lewis's speech at the March on Washington.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Which Dr. King had to get John Lewis to tone down.
yeah. Well,
As the late Congressman Lewis used to say, in a meeting right there under Lincoln's backside.
yeah. Well, speaking
God,
of voting,
you're the
speaking of voting, you wrote a piece. The Ohio gerrymanders just took another shot below the waterline on Friday. This gerrymandering could have given Republicans as much as a 12-3 advantage. This is in a state that Obama won, of course, and the judge said when the dealer stacks the deck in advance, the House usually wins. And you said I'm not inclined to optimism on this point, but there does seem to be some stirring against conservative overreach out there in the country. The gerrymandering story is not as bad as we thought.
Judges, with certain obvious exceptions, judges don't like to be asked to rule on absurdity. And they looked at the Ohio map. These are Republican judges on the Ohio Supreme Court. They looked at the Republican redistricting map and realized they were being asked to rule on an absurdity.
Right.
You know, that this was somehow a nonpartisan effort, which ended up with the Republicans having a massive advantage
Yeah.
in the state legislature. And the judges just said, no, we're not, you know, the